What was the turning point in your life that made you say, okay, what was the thing that said, okay, I made my decision, I'm going to go to LA?
Honestly?
Yeah.
When I turned 40.
Okay.
And I saw myself in a mirror dressing as Snow White with a wig and with a dress. And I said, this is what I want at 40. I'm a comedian. I've done everything, any kind of character. But then I realized that I was like a clown for televisions. And I said, oh, I don't want this.
Ow.
Oh, my God.
Ah, mira, pero póntelo, sí. ¿Tú sabes lo que es ASMR?
ASMR? What, it's like a Chinese sound
No, it's like, yeah.
to attract the spirits, the good vibrations. It's something.
Mira, tengo el Pikachu. First of all, let's just go ahead and introduce. Not only are you one of the most famous comedians to come out of Mexico, probably the most famous now. Some people might say, well, Eugenio the best, but he doesn't do stand-up comedy like you do. So the most famous Mexican comedian right now, and you are in Pikachu, which is probably going to be one of the biggest selling animated movies. Oh, no, it's live action.
Well, I don't know, man. After Avengers, it was crazy.
Yeah, but this is going to be the most just... I'm putting my spirit into this.
Okay, me too. It's going to be massive. It's true.
Tell us about the character you play on Pikachu.
Sebastian. It's called Sebastian, or Sebastian is the Pokemon trainer. And I was fortunate enough to play the Charizard Pokemon trainer. So I'm very excited for this one. Yo no sabía lo famoso, lo popular que era el Charizard. Bueno, en realidad no sabía qué tan famoso era el mundo de Pokémon o a qué nivel, ¿no? Obviamente había escuchado y you've seen all these people, crazy people with their cell phone playing around and casi los atropellan en la calle y están jugando, ¿no? Pero no sabía qué tanto fan había hasta que salió el tráiler. Cuando salió el tráiler, que yo salí un segundo y toda la gente me empezó a decir, oh my God, you're on a Pikachu's movie. Y estaba la gente muy loca.
Did you know about Pokemon in Mexico, though, back in the day?
Yeah, sí.
Like before this movie?
Yeah, obviously.
Did people play that game in Mexico?
Yes, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Totally.
Where do you live now, in Mexico City?
I live here.
Oh, you live in Los Angeles now?
I live here in Studio City.
But you lived for many years in Mexico City, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Yo soy de Chihuahua y luego me mudé hace como 19 años a Mexico City.
Sí.
Ahí hice mi carrera como actor, como comediante y hace 2 años y medio I moved to LA.
Okay, and how do you like LA?
Who doesn't like LA?
I know. New Yorkers for like the first week and then they love it and then they move here.
Sí.
Pero no, I've been to Mexico City before and what a city, man. It's unlike any other place I've ever been to. It seems endless when you're in the middle of the city. But I love the fact that you're from Chihuahua. Look, I'm Cuban from Miami, just so that you know. My Spanish is horrible, so we're going to work through that.
That's great. My English is horrible.
No, your English is actually very good.
Okay.
Tu inglés es más mejor que mi español. ¿Lo nota?
A mí me encanta que tú hables como cubano.
Oye, hacer. But I love the fact that there's a town named Chihuahua. Is that where Chihuahuas came from? This is what I ask all my Mexican friends.
You know what? They always ask me the same question, and I don't know how to answer. I need to Google. But I'm not sure.
I mean, I imagine. So, because you know that I read in history that that in Mexico, the Chihuahuas are from Mexico.
Yes.
So I imagine the town has something to do with it.
No, pero yo creo que Chihuahua viene de un héroe de la revolución.
Sí.
Sí, un señor que se apellidaba
Los perritos.
Los
perritos vienen de after when? World War II? They were created or something?
I don't know.
I think that they're like a little experiment, no?
Habría que preguntar. Maybe Pikachu comes from the Chihuahua because this seems
Pikachu.
like Pikachu.
I think that if people say it's an Asian name, but I feel like it's more a Latino name. I think it's more like Central American. Pikachu, right?
It's like Mexican. Pikachu. Yeah. Pikachu. Al menos los mexicanos lo usamos para alburear cuando agárrame el Pikachu y esas cosas, ¿no?
Pica.
Ahí te va el Pokémon, sí. You Cubans do the same thing.
Cubans say a lot of bad things. It's mostly innuendo. A mí me gusta. That's one thing about. Let's get into comedy, like how comedy translates from Latin America to the United States. First of all, stand-up comedy is a very uniquely American art form in that it started here in the United States in vaudeville. Really, the early 1900s, maybe the late 1800s, early 1900s is a very new art form when you think about it. It's only been around for 100 years. Stand-up comedy is very foreign to most countries.
Yes.
I mean, even in Europe, it's just starting. In Asia, it's definitely just starting. In the Middle East, you don't really see that. And then so Latin America, even though you don't see it as much as it's still at least close enough to the United States that we've seen more of it. So how was stand-up comedy for you? How did you get into comedy, and what was stand-up comedy for you in Mexico?
Well, it's where I was starting doing hosting radio. I was doing a radio host.
Right.
But 23 years ago, I started my career in 1996. Y empecé haciendo personajes en la radio, radio pranks, you know, y ahí nacieron la mayoría de mis personajes. Y almost everything was improvised. I improvised all the time. And after that, I moved to television in Chihuahua, doing local television and weird characters. So honestly, I haven't got the chance to study and to get into, ¿cómo se dice? Stand-up comedy. Todo se dio muy espontáneamente, ¿no? Y cuando yo me fui a México, agarré mi mochila, mis cosas, con un sueño grande, llegué a México y empecé a trabajar en la televisión haciendo all these characters in telehit, televisión por cable. Pero yo realmente era muy arriesgado, yo no sabía cómo hacerlo, yo simplemente lo hacía y improvisaba y era lo que le gustaba a la gente. Y he tratado de ir evolucionando, llevando esta comedia haciendo personajes y luego al cine y luego al teatro, ¿no? Finalmente, pero no sé.
Pero haciéndolo en el teatro era bien nuevo, no nada más para usted, pero también para la cultura mexicana, para ver a alguien solo.
Sí.
Hablando, haciendo sus impersonations, but basically talking, you know, and giving jokes in that stand-up comedy. It was different. It's not something. Well, because there's Mexican comedians in movies. There's comedy actors,
yes,
and sketch comedians. But standing up by yourself and doing impersonations or telling jokes, that was fairly new. How did Mexico react to it?
Yeah, it's true, porque yo no recuerdo que cuando yo estaba haciendo eso no veía a nadie haciéndolo. A lo mejor era Adal Ramones, que tenía un programa que se llamaba Otro Rollo, y yo era big fan de Adal Ramones, y decía, este men era impresionante. Y yo no lo hacía solo, lo hacía con personajes, con máscaras, con pelucas. Ya después que quise evolucionar, you know, I was tired to do it the same old lady with the wig, and trying to to go out of my comfort zone, I decided to take all my glasses and characters and do it my own style. And I'm starting to do it, but I'm feeling pretty new at this.
And are you performing here in the States?
Yes. In some cities, but I'm doing this called Retomar. Is like a comedy stand-up, but with a motivational speaker. So
wow!
It's a mix.
Is that an app?
No. It's just I'm doing it on theaters.
Oh, in theaters. Okay,
yes,
you're mixing motivational speakers and comedians.
Yes.
Yeah, I think sometimes comedy is very inspiring.
Yes. I think it's very unique because I decided just not to make people laugh. Dije, bueno, porque qué mejor que hacerlos reír. Si puedo hacerlos reír y aparte dejarles un mensaje. Me di cuenta que había gente deprimida, que se acercaba gente o que decía, oye, Omar, me pasó hace poco de una conferencia no recuerdo, creo que es San Antonio, Chicago, no recuerdo, y se acercó una niña y me dijo, Omar, me iba a suicidar. I was about to commit suicide, and after this show or conference, whatever, I want to thankful for that because I'm not getting suicide anymore.
Wow.
Thank you for inspiring me. So I said, okay, it's good that I can make you laugh, but plus that I can make you feel good and try to change your life is a plus, man. It's wonderful.
What's your favorite character to do, or your favorite characters to do?
Comedy, well, I love La Licenciada Pamela Juanjo, Yajairo, El Púas, I got a home like that. El Púas is a cholo from Chihuahua. Actually.
How is a cholo from Chihuahua? Give us a little taste for like American Latinos listening to this.
Bueno, este vato siempre habla así, habla un poquito arrastrando la lengua. Usted no me va a entender nada porque es de Cuba, vato. Pero es Carmina Burana, no la calientes porque después no le enfría, loco.
You know?
Nice. Now, living here in Los Angeles, have you gotten acclimated to the American Chicano cholo, the English-speaking, Mexican American who doesn't speak any Spanish? That cholo.
I wish
like
I
this
could.
kind of cholo.
Yes. I really quisiera conocerlos.
I know. Let's go to Istale. I'll introduce you.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to play a character like that in a movie.
Yeah.
That would be a very nice challenge for me.
He's like, no, he's going to take my role.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Please don't do it.
You know, a lot of people, yeah, so there was a show called Homies that it was stop motion animation. We had here at LATV. I actually wrote for that show, and there were a bunch of cholos from East LA. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so hopefully we do something similar to that. How would you define comedy in Latin America?
Well, I don't know how to define it. Maybe.
How do you make it? How do you differentiate it between comedy in the United States?
I guess we are more energetic. Maybe we're like kind of crazy. We like to improvise a lot. Our comedy, at least in Mexico, I guess it comes from schools. It comes from the bullying. It comes from, darle carrilla al amigo, al compañero, burlarnos de los demás. Al menos así nació mi comedia. Yo era muy burlón todo el tiempo y hacía reír a mis amigos.
Sí.
Y de ahí nacía la comedia, de burlarnos de nosotros mismos y de burlarnos de lo simple. Y acá en Estados Unidos, no sé, a lo mejor es un poquito más pensante. They think a little bit more. They don't improvise that much. Los comediantes en Estados Unidos tienen que tener todo escrito en rehearsal, and I respect that.
Right.
But in Mexico, I think it's kind of different.
Have you tried writing or performing anything in English yet? I mean, obviously in the movies and stuff like that, but for your comedy?
No, I haven't. I wish. I think it will be the next step.
I think that you're ready for it, man.
No, I need to practice my English, man.
Your English is perfect.
It's rusty.
No, listen, we're at a time right now in the United States where I think people appreciate a good accent. I think now's the time for you. You speak perfect English. You have an elegant accent. I think now's the time to push a few English bits. Mira,
Okay.
¿Qué tú crees?
Show me how. Yes.
No, I think you show me how, man. You are. Okay, here's what I say. Right now, the United States, especially not just non-Latinos, but also Latinos that grew up here, like myself, we still need to be more introduced to Latin American characters that come from Latin America, and I think that's a space that you could fill with your characters because we could learn more about Latin Americans through comedy. ¿Qué tú crees? But it's your time. It's your time, Omar. Starts with the Pikachu movie, man.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Have you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
No.
Okay, the Mandela effect says that we're living in alternate realities that are mixing because there's a thing in Europe called CERN and a thing called the Large Hadron Collider. Have you ever heard of it? Hay un lugar in Switzerland,
Yes.
un lab, donde they're smashing particles together and they're creating tiny little black holes. Have you heard of this?
No, but it's so
It's called-
interesting.
okay.
Please, show me.
God, I don't know if I can get into the... But they say that because they're making these little black holes... Look, my director's shoe shopping again. Because they're creating these little black holes, that they're creating alternate realities that we're shifting into. And the alternate realities are almost like the reality that we are in, but with tiny little differences. One of the difference
Oh, my God.
is Pikachu. And I'll show you how. Because, let's see here.
You're being serious right now?
Look, check this out. So they say that in an alternate dimension, Pikachu actually had and I remember this. I remember Pikachu having the black, and now look, no one can, and then some people can't remember it at all, and now it doesn't have the black, and you see, so
that's
I remember it having the black, but if you go back in time, they're like, no, that never happened. He always it was always yellow like this. So they're saying that that's an example of us colliding into another alternate reality with just a little difference. Pikachu being one of them.
That's very interesting, but I don't know if you're joking about it.
No, I mean, look. And
No.
another one is whether Curious George had a tail or not. The other one is, te recuerda los Berenstain Bears. Es algo americano, pero los latinos, los Berenstain Bears. ¿Te acuerdas de ellos?
Yes.
Okay, how do you spell it? I'm not going to show you here. You spell it with an E, Stein, ¿verdad?
Yes. So that's part of the
So
black holes.
we're in a different reality. We're in the reality where Berenstain Bears is spelled with an A instead of an E. We're in the reality where Pikachu has a yellow tail instead of a black tail. Because I remember it so I come from another reality that is now being melded into this reality.
But that's great. That's great, man. I heard oh yes, I remember that, but I don't know how to translate it in English. It's called el yo cuántico. ¿Has oído hablar del yo cuántico?
No, tell me, dímelo.
Te lo voy a decir en español porque no.
Dímelo en español.
Esto me lo recomendó un amigo y lo hice y es cierto. que antes de dormir tienes que tomar un vaso con agua
Mhm.
y tratar de conectar con tu yo cuántico. Todos tenemos un yo cuántico en otra realidad
Okay.
donde ese yo cuántico no tiene limitaciones. He has no limitations and he can, ¿cómo se dice? Accomplish whatever you want. So tienes que pedirle al yo cuántico, tomar un vaso con agua y luego decirle, hola, soy Humberto, ¿tu nombre completo?
Guida, Humberto Guida.
Hola, soy Humberto
Hola, soy
Guida.
Humberto Guida.
Estoy aquí, dices la dirección donde
Ok.
estás. Estoy en Los Ángeles, en la calle tal, número tal. Hoy es 10 de mayo del 2019 y estoy acostándome, estoy aquí. Y deseo a completar esto. Quiero este trabajo, quiero este sueldo, quiero para el 2020. Lo pides así con tal fuerza a tu yo cuántico que no tiene limitantes. Y por alguna razón, en cierto determinado tiempo, vas a llegar ahí con la ayuda de tu yo cuántico.
I am down.
No, you can Google too.
Let me see this.
I
Joe Quantico.
Quantic, yo cuántico. Lo expliqué a lo mejor muy mal, but you have
No,
to.
you explained it perfectly.
Pero te digo, todo esto, el mundo de la energía es increíble. Si lo sabes manejar y aprovechas las herramientas, you find the tools, you can get there easily.
Okay, no, we're gonna have to go into a deeper search.
Yes.
No, we're in the reality where this hasn't been put on Google yet. No, but I'm gonna listen. Just you telling me that, I'm gonna do that tonight. Instead of saying my Our Fathers, I'm gonna do the Yo Cuántico thing. I thought you were saying Joe, like
Joe?
Joe.
Joe.
No, Joe.
Ah, no,
Joe Cuántico. Aquí, ¿quién es
Like
Joe
you.
Cuántico? Como un superhero. Oye, así que mira, I saw the film Struck. How did you? I mean, how did you fall into that role? Because the acting now, you're gonna sing, dance in English, all this stuff. Like, explain that.
You know, I've been so lucky.
Okay.
It's called Stuck.
Stuck. I'm sorry.
I did
Of
that
course.
movie.
Where you're stuck in a subway. Great premise, by the way.
Yeah. But it was a Broadway theater off Broadway in New York
Right.
before, and they decided to do the film. It's a musical, independent film, and they hire me. I want Omar. So it's been, maybe I'm doing the Joe Quantico that I
Right.
told you somehow, because I meditate all the
Right.
time. I believe in God. I believe in energy. I believe in I'm very positive, and I take acting classes, and all these kind of things start happening because of that. I didn't have to do the casting for Pikachu.
Wow.
Have I told you that?
Really?
Yeah.
You're getting somewhere, man.
No, but it's weird. I'm gonna tell you why. Because hice una película hace 9 años en New Orleans con Eugenio Derbez.
Right.
This movie was never released. Nobody saw it, and they pay me like $2,000 for that. But I was living in Mexico by then, so I had to pay my flight, my hotel, and even my visa. So I didn't win any money, man.
Wow.
I had to pay to be in that movie.
Wow.
But I was very passionate about it, and I didn't care. So I did my best effort to be in that movie, and my wife was yelling at me, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You're going to pay $5,000 for being in a movie. So stupid." And I said, I believe in mi yo cuántico. I believe that if you do the right thing with so passion and desire, something's good gonna happen. And what happened? That the producer of this movie is the producer of Pikachu. And that's why they hired me without doing the casting.
What was the name of the movie? Can you say?
Aztec Warrior.
Okay. Aztec Warrior?
Yes.
Is there still a chance it might come out?
I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be in some platform.
And it was a comedy.
It was a comedy with wrestlings and drug dealers. And
Oh, okay.
Very weird.
Because I'm thinking Aztec Warrior. I don't imagine Eugenio Derbez as the Aztec Warrior. Or maybe that's
No,
the joke.
he was the bad guy.
Ah.
The Aztec Warrior was Luis Guzman. You know
Oh,
Luis
yeah,
Guzman?
of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I picture him as an Aztec Warrior. That's amazing. Let me ask you this. As someone who's succeeded so much in Mexico and has created such a big profile in Mexico, why do you want to cross over to the American market?
That's a good question. Maybe because I wasn't happy enough, or maybe I had accomplished a lot of things, and suddenly I realized that I didn't want to still doing the same things. I was in a television show. They pay me so well, but I wasn't happy. I as an actor, I felt that I could do a lot of more things, and I want to grow and expand my career. So I said, okay, I have to quit. In order to get what I want, I need to quit and start over. Where? In LA. And that's what I did. And it was very complicated when I got here. It was very complicated. But
Why?
now, Because I quit. I used to have my wife as a queen in Mexico. In Mexico, I don't know if you know, if you're an actor, you get paid a lot of money, and you have a big house, maids, chauffeur, or whatever. And here is different. This is very expensive. So I quit all of that
Wow.
to start over. So
what was the turning point in your life that made you say, okay, what was the thing that said, okay, I made my decision. I'm going to go to LA?
honestly,
Yeah.
when I turned 40,
Okay.
and I saw myself in a mirror dressing as Snow White, with a wig and with a dress, and I said, "This is what I want at 40." I'm a comedian. I've done everything, any kind of character, but then I realized that I was like a clown for televisions, and I said, "Oh, I don't want this." Wow. And they pay me so well, but I said goodbye. And I remember the producer told me, "Omar, what you're doing, you're saying fuck to the owner of Televisa." And I said, "No, I wanna fly, man. I'm so thankful for that, but I've been doing this for 15 years. It's time to move on."
Wow.
So as I always said, it's very important to know what you want in life, but sometimes it's more important to know what you don't want anymore. And that was the point.
This is the kind of inspiring stuff that I need in my life right now. What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Ooh, fire sign. And it's a wise fire sign. I'm an Aries, but that's the first fire sign. So we're like crazy kids. The Sagittarius is the more mature fire sign.
Yes.
How long have you been in LA? I think I asked.
2 years and a half.
Wow. Okay, so 3 years is the mark where everything that you've been working for is just gonna explode.
You think so?
Absolutely.
How do you know?
Because it's everyone has the jump into LA at the 3-year mark. The difference is other people come here and they start from the bottom. They don't have, at least you're coming here, so you're starting from here. So some people come here and then they get here at 3 years. You're coming here, which is already coming. You're coming from Mexico. I get that you're already, but at your 3 years.
Can you repeat that?
Sí.
No, I'm a believer.
I'm talking to your Joe Quantica. Listen, at 3 years, you are going.
Can you
to,
make it
okay?
softer?
Omar, at 3 years, you are gonna get everything you've been working for so hard and they gave up so much for. It's all happening 3 years after you moved to Los Angeles.
And this goes for you that you're listening right now. Okay? It's not only for me. It's about
It's
you.
for all of us.
It's for all of us.
It's for all of us.
For our
3 years after Omar moved to Los Angeles, we all get over. That's amazing. No, man. I mean, look. And what do you think? What are the challenges for someone coming in from Mexico and coming? Because there's other crossover stars and they find a different niche, and there's people that come from Latin America and do what you've done, and then look at Sofia Vergara. But what are the challenges that you see that you've had to overcome?
Well, the first challenge it was very expensive, and then the first challenge, I guess, was to realize what I've done, and that I was in the point that there's no turning back. I decided, and I said, "Oh my God, I did it." So no me puedo echar para atrás. Y el desafío más grande yo creo que es calmar a la mente. That inner monologue that is always saying bad things, that doesn't believe, that make you, bajonearte, que te quiere decir, you're not good enough. Esa es la voz más peligrosa que todos tenemos, sin importar lo que hacemos. We have that voice saying over and over, you're not good enough, you're not young enough, you're not tall enough, your English is not good enough, or whatever. So you start believing that, te vas a tirar a la basura, al caño. Ir against that voice is the most difficult part. So you have to believe, because when things are going well, it's easy to believe. When they're kind of dangerous and they're not in the right spot, it's not easy. That's when it gets complicated.
Have you been able to get any advice from Eugenio Derbez on crossing over the United States?
Sí, bueno, él tuvo mucho que ver en que yo me viniera. Yo hace 3 años estaba...
¿Por viendo lo que él hizo?
Sí, también, pero sobre todo que yo tuve una plática con él hace 4 años y él me dijo, yo le platicaba, le dije, Eugenio, I'm not very happy, I was doing what he was doing 10 years ago. And he told me, Omar, let me tell you something. There's a world afuera de Televisa.
Mm-hmm.
Es otro mundo. Y me ayudó a expandir mi mente, ¿no? A veces nuestra mente está solamente limitada pensamos que es un mundo muy pequeño y si te lo quitan, te vas a morir. Y la realidad es que cuando te atreves a salir de esa caja, de ese mundo, efectivamente hay un mundo allá afuera y Los Ángeles es tierra fértil. Hagas lo que hagas, si trabajas, si tienes disciplina, si logras vencer tus creencias limitantes, puedes lograr lo que quieras.
Y para un mexicano hay un sentido que ahora es el tiempo para los mexicanos specifically y los latinos a llegar a otro nivel aquí en los Estados Unidos. Que el país de los Estados Unidos no es más un país para gente blanco, pero que es un país también parte latino y la cultura mexicana tiene mucho que ver con eso. Y este es el tiempo, la hora a donde mucha gente se fija en eso.
Sí, totalmente. Es un tiempo para todos, no nomás en el mundo del espectáculo y los actores. Tú analízalo y ve, ahora los latinos están controlando el mundo del cine, como los directores que vemos, González Iñárritu, Guillermo del Toro, pero también en las cadenas de restaurantes. Antes, hace 20, 30 años, eran los meseros los que trabajaban en la cocina. Ahora son los dueños de los restaurantes, de las compañías, doctores, profesionistas. Creo que tenemos que empezar a romper esos paradigmas. Estamos en un momento de crecer, de ir más allá. Go beyond, beyond.
Amazing. All right, and just wrapping up, so what are some things aside? Obviously, this movie is going to be big, and everyone can go support you in it. You mentioned that you're going to be doing a show around the country in theaters where you're having the motivational speakers and the comedians. What's that called again?
Retomar.
Retomar.
Reto Omar. It's like challenge Omar. Okay. Omar.
And
challenge.
How can people see this? How can people attend?
I'm going to be El Paso, Texas, Aurora, México, Guadalajara, Monterrey. En mis redes sociales, en my Instagram, Omar Chaparro, en Facebook, soy Omar Chaparro, en Twitter también, Omar Chaparro.
Everything.
Yeah, it's complicated, hacer la agenda, porque a veces llega una película y son 3 meses donde solamente estoy en la película y tengo que parar el tour, entonces no puedo tener un tour así tan extenso porque vienen películas.
Essing spots.
Yeah.
But if they catch you on your social media, they'll find out you're coming to a place near them eventually. And if you want to catch them in the short term, go see Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Pika, pika.
Pika, pika. Omar Chaparro, you've been on Checkitow.
I love it. Thank you so much.
That was inspiring, man. Thank you, man.